One quiet morning in March 2018, a car was found at the bottom of a cliff in Mendocino County, California. The wreckage and the bodies scattered nearby hinted at a terrible accident. But as investigators dug deeper, they realized this wasn't just a tragic crash, there was a much darker story behind it. What drove this family to the edge? And how had no one noticed the warning signs before it was too late? Jennifer Jean Hart, known as Jen, was born on June 4, 1979 in South Dakota, USA. While her mother's name remains private, her father was Douglas, who worked in the Federal Energy Administration. Jen was the eldest of 3 children in the family. They lived in Huron, a small town in eastern South Dakota, where Jen's childhood was surrounded by natural beauty and plenty of opportunities for sports, which she embraced passionately. Breaking away from typical gender expectations, she chose to play baseball with the boys instead of softball. Jen also had a love for animals and developed musical talents alongside her siblings, often playing the trumpet at Christmas church services. Despite the seemingly peaceful family life, Jen's parents divorced when she was 12. She and her siblings stayed with their mother, while Douglas moved to a different part of town, maintaining regular contact with his children. Jen, who was closer to her father, decided at 14 to move in with him. The arrangement worked for a while, but eventually Jen's behavior became difficult to manage, leading her father to send her back to live with her mother. Despite her rebellious phase, she graduated from high school in 1997 and surprised everyone by enrolling at Augustana University, a conservative Lutheran institution. To further surprise her community, Jen decided to be baptized into the Lutheran Church, despite not being raised in that faith. 2 years later, Jen transferred to Northern State University, where she met Sarah Margaret. Sarah, born on April 8, 1979 in North Dakota, was the oldest of 4 children. The 2 women instantly connected, and before long, they were living together on campus. Both were pursuing education degrees, with Sarah focusing on special education. Though Jen seemed to be moving past her earlier behavioral issues in January 2000, she was caught shoplifting. She admitted to the police that she wasn't sure why she had done it, hinting at personal struggles but without providing details. Ultimately, she pleaded guilty to petty theft. She continued her studies but eventually dropped out, unlike Sarah, who graduated in 2002. By this time, Jen had distanced herself from her family, including her father. Jen never disclosed relationship with Sarah to him, and according to her father, their falling out had nothing to do with Jen's sexual orientation. After Sarah's graduation, the couple moved to Minnesota, buying a 2-story house near the mall where they both worked. Around this time, they began to share their relationship openly with friends and family. However, this newfound openness caused some friends to distance themselves. In 2005, Sarah legally took Jen's last name, becoming Sarah Hart, and shortly after they decided to open their home as foster parents. Their first foster child, a 15-year-old girl, later shared that she had intended to stay until she turned 18, but was asked to leave when Jen and Sarah decided to pursue adoption. In 2006, they adopted their first 3 children, Marcus, 8, Hannah, 4, and Abigail, 2 from Colorado County, Texas. 2 years later, they expanded their family with 3 more siblings from Houston, Devante, 5, Jeremiah, 4, and Sierra, 2. All 6 children were of African American descent. Jen took on the role of stay-at-home mom, documenting her life with the children on social media. She shared everyday moments and culturally enriching activities, including teaching them to play musical instruments and even cutting their hair. She showed how the family celebrated the 30th anniversary of The Goonies, one of her favorite movies, by making matching costumes for everyone. Her online posts also highlighted the children's achievements, such as Marcus's success in a geography competition and Hannah and Jeremiah's recital of the Greek alphabet. In one particularly heartwarming post, she shared how Jeremiah and Abby taught their youngest sister, Sierra, a kindergarten song. The proud mother frequently shared moments with her followers, including the time when Devante brought home a sheet full of praise and well wishes from his classmates. Jen's social media accounts were filled with images of the children, many of them holding signs that read, "Love is always beautiful." In those pictures, they often appeared as a perfect family, wearing matching shirts and wide smiles. However, behind closed doors, the reality was quite different from the picture painted online. In 2008, while living in Minnesota, a police report surfaced in which one of the couple's daughters told officers that her mother, Sarah, had hit her with a belt. However, when the authorities questioned the mothers, they both claimed that the girl had fallen down the stairs, and the incident was quickly dismissed. The following year, in 2009, Sarah and Jen traveled to Connecticut to get married. As it was one of the few states where same-sex marriage was legal at the time, every detail of their ceremony was shared on social media. Despite the picture-perfect life they portrayed, things within the family were far from ideal. On November 15, 2010, Abigail, who was 6 years old at the time, confided in her teacher that she had bruises on her stomach and back, saying one of her mothers had hit her. The teacher confirmed the bruises were visible and reported that Abigail had also mentioned other troubling incidents, including being denied food and having her head dunked in cold water as punishment for allegedly stealing a penny. When investigators questioned the mothers, Sarah admitted to hitting Abigail in a fit of rage, while Jen acknowledged that she was aware of Sarah's violent behavior. Following this confession, the authorities inspected the home and interviewed the children, all of whom confirmed they had been physically punished and deprived of food on several occasions. Sarah pleaded guilty to domestic assault and was sentenced to 90 days in jail. However, she didn't serve the sentence, as she was granted 1 year of community service. Despite this, the children remained in the couple's custody. After the legal case was resolved, Jen and Sarah withdrew their 6 children from the Minnesota public school system and began homeschooling them. In contrast to Jen's usual openness on social media, this decision was kept completely private. Jen later explained on her profiles that she believed public school was not a safe place for her children, citing discrimination due to their race and their mother's sexual orientation. She also claimed that Devante, in particular, had suffered physical attacks, threats, and insults at school. Although she voiced her grievances about public education, Jen never mentioned the homeschooling decision on social media. Instead, she posted a photo of the 6 children sitting in a forest clearing, captioned, "Science class in the woods." During this time, the family faced other challenges. According to court documents, Jen and Sarah made over 30 calls to the police, reporting instances of discrimination and aggression due to their sexual orientation.